Mangwana ni malelepo fukenjani kleklas vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa. Good morning. This is your portal into Africa's potent stories. On today's show, we begin in Mozambique, where over 46,000 people have been displaced by a surge in armed attacks. In Kenya, political trust hits a low as youth-led protests reshape the national conversation. France moves to ease the return of colonially looted artifacts, while Benin celebrates its cultural identity through the annual Mask Festival. In economic news, South Africa announces relief measures following U.S. tariffs, and Zambia gears up for its first ever Industrial Skills Week. Talent Gore brings your Zimbabwe report, and you can watch us on DStv 285, GOtv 25, NTV Africa Network Media Hub on YouTube, as well as oneup2.com. My name is Ashwin Berry. This is Africa Good Morning. Top stories shortly.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Let's get into the top stories on Africa Good Morning. Violence in northern Mozambique has surged once again, displacing over 46,000 people in late July alone. The United Nations reports that armed group attacks in Chiure, Ankwabe, and Muidumbe have deepened the humanitarian crisis in Cabo Delgado, where over 95,000 people have fled since January. The International Organization for Migration highlights that the number of displaced families nearly tripled in just 1 week, including over 1,200 children. In villages like Magaya and Nanduli, residents were forced to flee after their homes were torched and gunfire erupted nearby. With limited humanitarian access, many are seeking safety in sites already overwhelmed by need. Mozambique's government, battling an Islamist insurgency since 2017, has leaned on international military support but struggled to control the beheadings and the use of child soldiers have displaced over 600,000 people and continue to destabilize the region. As aid efforts face mounting challenges, the region teeters on the brink of a prolonged crisis, with fragile communities left to weather the violence with limited resources or reprieve. Kenya continues to reel from a wave of anti-government protests, with public trust in institutions reaching new lows. Sparked by opposition to a finance bill, the June 2024 protests evolved into a broad movement demanding systemic change. German Ambassador Sebastian Groth voiced concerns over the erosion of public trust, noting Germany's willingness to help mediate. A Geopol study revealed that 63% of Kenyans doubt the government's responsiveness, with many citing very little or no trust in leadership. The protests, coordinated via TikTok, X, WhatsApp, and Instagram, ignited a powerful youth-led movement demanding political participation as well as economic reform. President William Ruto's administration responded with force, including the use of live ammunition, sparking the 7 days of rage. The German envoy described this moment as a political awakening for Kenya's Gen Z, noting their growing demand for accountability. As calls for resignation and reform intensify, Kenya finds itself at a crossroads. International observers are watching closely as the nation grapples with unrest, economic strain, and the powerful rise of a digitally mobilized generation. France is moving to speed up the restitution of cultural artifacts taken from former colonies introducing a bill that would bypass parliamentary votes and allow returns via government decree. The law, presented by Culture Minister Rashida Dati, responds to mounting pressure since President Emmanuel Macron's 2017 pledge to return looted items. The new proposal applies to objects taken under illicit conditions between 1815 and 1972, citing theft, looting, or forced transfer, though the term colonization, which has been notably absent. A scientific commission comprising French and international experts will be established to verify the origins and legality of each artifact. Advocates argue this will improve transparency and reduce bureaucratic delays. Senator Catherine Morin-Desailly highlighted that only Belgium has passed a comparable law so far, calling this bill a major step forward. Critics, however, stress the immense work required to trace artifacts' histories and ensure ethical returns. France has returned only 27 works in the past 6 years, despite thousands of official requests. The bill is expected to be debated in Parliament this September, marking a pivotal moment in France's reckoning with its colonial legacy. Porto Novo, the capital of Benin, pulsed with color and culture as thousands gathered for the annual Mask Festival, a vibrant celebration of ancestral identity. The event featured elaborately costumed performers, spiritual dance rituals, and storytelling steeped in centuries of tradition. Rooted in the Yoruba, Somba, and Beta Maribe communities, the masked figures known as Egungun and Zarbeto embody ancestral spirits believed to protect the living and maintain cosmic balance. Farid Mutairo, a local architect, stressed the importance of preserving cultural heritage, noting that Benin remains one of the few African nations openly proud of its traditions. The festival also holds growing significance as a driver of tourism, with attendees from neighboring countries and Europe flocking to experience the spiritual spectacle. Porto Novo Mayor Charlemagne Yankoti affirmed that cultural events like this align with President Patrice Talon's vision of tourism as a key economic pillar. The festival, blending the mystical with the communal, reinforces a national identity deeply tied to its roots, with the rhythms of the ancestors echoing loudly in modern Benin. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. Shortly, we'll be diving into the Zimbabwe report with Talent Gore, but prior to that, it's the weather.
Mornings just got better, Namibia. From the latest headlines to the hottest trends, we're bringing you the conversations that matter.
That's right. Bright minds, bold opinions, and a touch of morning magic. This is your daily dose of energy.
So grab a cup and join in on the conversation every weekday morning at 8 o'clock with Smell the Coffee, hosted by Diana Master and Aina Riza Quayo.
It's time for us to talk to Talent Gore as she delivers the Zimbabwe report. Talent Wamkase.
Tamuka Eduka Mamka Africa.
Tamuka Edu. Now, straight into your first story. Now, last week, Talent, one of our stories was that 75% of Zimbabwe's economy is informal. Now, the government has banned night vending as well as second-hand clothing sales. Tell us about that.
Yes, this is not the first time that the Zimbabwean government has banned the selling of second-hand clothes. But yesterday, the government said that they had banned the sale of second-hand clothing in the central business district. In the central business districts of local authorities across the country, and also has prohibited all-night vending effective immediately. Local authorities have been directed to implement the ban in a humane manner. Minister of Local Government and Public Works Talent Gore made the announcement yesterday during an interactive meeting with the city of Harare councillors at Town House. The government has banned the sale of second-hand clothing in the central business district of all local authorities across the country, and has also prohibited all-night vending effective immediately. Minister Gore mentioned that the proliferation of street and night vending has undermined formal businesses which have remained loyal to local authorities by paying rates, bills, and taxes. He noted that night vending had also led to illicit drug and substance deals, posing threats to health, the economy, and national security. So, effective immediately, night vending has been banned in all local authorities. Night vending had become a menace, if we might say, in Harare Central Business District. You find out that from 5 p.m. or rather from 4:30 p.m., people will start putting their things on the streets and start selling them to those who be coming from work and going to home. Up until 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you'll still find people selling their goods on the streets. And the government is saying that this has hindered the economy's growth, because now people are no longer paying taxes, and it has also caused the collapse of formal businesses in the country, because now people no longer pay their taxes. They're not going to buy their goods at the formal supermarkets, but rather they'll just go into the streets and get whatever they want, because apparently if you go into the streets of Harare, especially during the night, you find anything and everything that you need without you going into the shops. You find your South African goods onto the streets, but when you go into the supermarket, some of those goods, they are not found in the supermarkets, they are found on the streets. So now people are now preferring to go and buy in the streets rather than going to the supermarkets. So the government has, with immediate effect, banned the second-hand clothes and also night vending. So the government has instructed all local authorities to implement the ban in a humane manner. They said that the government says that they do not want to see people being chased away or being chased away by the police, but they have to implement the ban in a humane manner. So we're just going to see how the local authorities are going to be implementing the ban on these night vendors, and also on the banning of selling of second-hand clothes.
All right, Talent, staying with economy, Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Mthuli Ncube has admitted that there is economic chaos in Zimbabwe.
Yes, the government has admitted that companies in Zimbabwe make more money on the wrong side of the law than when complying with it, exposing a regulatory system that punishes honesty and rewards evasion, even as it vows to aggressively expand the tax base. While presenting the review in Parliament, Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion Minister Mthuli Ncube, in the off-court remarks, confirms that more money was being made outside compliance. He said that during the second half of the year, government will be seized with the implementation of business reforms targeting the reduction of fees and charges, as well as regulatory requirements and the number of steps in acquiring licenses, for example. He said that this will significantly reduce the operation costs for industry to enable it to compete both domestically and internationally. He also said that we have a situation where in some sectors, players or private players are only profitable if they do not comply with regulatory requirements. So this means that the finance minister actually knows that most business right now, they're not complying with the regulatory framework and they're profiting rather than when they comply with the government requirement. So most businesses right now who are making it, who are making profits, they are actually making profits without them complying with what is required by the government, especially when it comes to paying taxes. Most of them, they're not paying taxes. And this actually shows that the minister knows what is really going on the ground. And right now, we're just going to see how it's going to work towards ensuring that most businesses comply with the government regulatory framework so that they can at least pay taxes to the government. So we're going to be monitoring to see how the minister is going to navigate this situation.
All right, now, Talent, we know that illicit drugs have become a huge problem in Zimbabwe. Now, the police have recently destroyed tons of them.
Yes, police on Friday destroyed 18,896 liters of illicit brews, 30 kgs of banned skin whitening products, and 121 kgs of marijuana, which was seized during a nationwide operation. The public destruction exercise was conducted at Salim Gabe Central Hospital in Harare and Chitungiza Dam site under the supervision of government agencies. National Police spokesperson Commissioner Paul Nyati said the destruction followed the conviction of suspects involved in drug and substance abuse. He said that once suspects are tried, convicted, and sentenced, exhibits are disposed of under witness by the Zimbabwe Republic Police, Medicines Control Authority of Zimbabwe, the Ministry of Health, and other stakeholders. He also said that traffickers are disguising drugs as flour and oats and smuggle them through Bait Bridge and other border posts. Additional seizures were made in Harare, Bulawayo, and other parts of the country. Some were hidden in plastic wraps, repackaged in cigarette cartons of well-known brands, skin lightening creams, falsely skincare products, and tsunami, an illegal drug often misused for sexual enhancement and body modification. So this is not the first time that the government, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, have actually disposed these drugs and other illicit brews. The Zimbabwe Republic Police is going around doing campaigns and confiscating these illegal skin lightening bleaches, illicit brews, and also drugs. So there's a campaign in Zimbabwe where the police is confiscating those things, and the suspects who are those are courts, and after they are found guilty, the contraband will then be disposed in the presence of the Ministry of Health, and usually it is done at Salim Gabe Central Hospital and Chitungiza Hospital is a downside. So this is one of many things that the Zimbabwean police do to try and tame the drug and substance abuse problem that has ravaged the country.
All right, Talent, now in the last of your stories, the China Film Festival in Zimbabwe is to showcase captivating Chinese films.
Yes, loving Zimbabweans brace for a vibrant cinematic experience at the China Film Festival in Harare. The festival opens its door Tuesday next week at Westgate with two captivating Chinese films, Panda Plan and You Only Live Once, competing for attention. This celebration of film is jointly organized by the Chinese Embassy in Zimbabwe, the Ministry of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, the Cinema Society of Zimbabwe, and the China Film Artists Center as part of the two countries' cultural exchange program. Through this collaboration, the event aims to cultural bridges while showcasing the dynamic creativity of cinema. So the festival is starting Tuesday next week, and all Zimbabwean few are invited to go and witness the two Chinese films, and I'm sure that more films will showcase during the festival.
Thank you very much, Talent, for delivering the Zimbabwe report.
You are welcome, and thank you very much for having me.
We're going to swing straight into economic news. South Africa has announced urgent measures to shield local industries from a new 30% tariff imposed by the United States. The tariffs set to impact key sectors such as agriculture and automotive manufacturing follow failed negotiations despite South Africa's offer to invest in U.S. industries and purchase liquefied natural gas. Trade and foreign ministers outlined a block exemption from some competition laws to enable industry collaboration and announced financial support mechanisms, including working capital and equipment facilities. The move comes amid speculation that affirmative action policies or geopolitical tensions, such as South Africa's stance on Israel's genocide case, may have influenced the tariff decision. Minister Ronald Lamola declined to confirm these links, but emphasized continued engagement under the framework proposal. Job losses are a key concern, with tens of thousands at risk. Officials have also launched an export support desk to help businesses access new markets. While the U.S. reframes global trade, South Africa is working to buffer the impact with domestic interventions, urging recognition that its exports bolster rather than threaten U.S. industry. Zambia will host the first ever Industrial Skills Week in Lusaka next month, set for September 9 to 10. The event is in partnership with the AUDA NEPAD and aims to drive dialogue on aligning skills with Africa's industrial goals. Minister Felix Mutati says it will address gaps between labor demands and available skills.
The government of the Republic of Zambia is excited to host the Skills Industrialization Week, which is a new initiative by the Chief Executive Officer of the African Union Development Agency. This program will be called Skills Industrialization Week. This will be anchored under the Energize Africa program, and we are excited to host it in Lusaka, Zambia, during the week of the 8th of September this year. The government will collaborate with the private sector, such as the Zambia Manufacturing Association and their other sister African organizations, entrepreneurs, industrial leaders, to showcase what sort of skills are required by Africa, particularly in the coming years. We want to assure our fellow African countries that there is no substitute to sharpening the skills in order to tackle the various challenges that Africa faces. And let's seize this opportunity in September to bring in our boys and girls to sharpen the skills for the sake of Africa. And we want to thank the support from GIZ and AU NEPAD, who have been very passionate about skills, but beyond that, are going to support us with the funding.
And that wraps up the broadcast for Africa Good Morning. Thank you for joining us on DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Africa on YouTube. Keeping in mind, on oneup2.com, if you click Echo, you can have a look at this and other Africa Good Morning episodes. So that's Echo on oneup2.com, where prime time is anytime. From me, Ashwin Betty, and the Africa Good Morning team, Sweraja Kanaka.